and welcome to the first day of our next unit. It's really still Unit 1, but it's the second part. We're going to be working with angles and angle relationships for this unit. So first, we're going to review some stuff we should already know about angles. An angle is formed when two rays share the same endpoint. Okay, so let's look at the parts of an angle. The angle, every angle is going to have sides, it's going to have a vertex, and it's going to have an interior. The sides are the rays. So in the example I have, this is a side, ray MH. It starts at M and goes in the direction of H. It's a ray. And ray MS. It starts at M and it goes in the direction of S. And it's a ray. So I can say ray MH and ray MS are sides of the given angle. The next vocabulary word you should already be familiar with is vertex. The vertex is the shared endpoint. So if you look at the sides, we can tell what the vertex is because they both include the point M. So the vertex is the shared endpoint M. So if I were to ask what is the vertex of this angle, we would say point M in our example. Okay? And then the last one here is the interior, and that is the space between the sides. So the interior is all of this that I'm going to kind of shade in a little bit. And it keeps going forever and ever and ever and ever, okay? Because your ray keeps going forever and ever and ever, so the interior goes forever and ever and ever as well, okay? So if I look at point J, it might be tempting to call J a midpoint of the angle because it kind of looks like it's evenly in between the two sides, but there's really no such thing as a midpoint because how would you know? Should I put it here, equidistant from the two sides, or should I put it out here, equidistant between the two sides? Right? So it's hard. We don't really have a such thing as a midpoint. All we really know about point J is where it is. It's in the interior. So I could say point J is in the interior of the angle. Okay? Point J is in the interior of that given angle. When we name angles, angles are named using an angle symbol. Just like when we name a line, we have to use a line symbol. And when we use a ray, we have to use our ray symbol. And a segment, we use a segment symbol. With angles, we use an angle symbol, the vertex, and a point on each side, surrounded by a point from each side. So for example, this angle here, I can call it angle. Its vertex is B. And then I need a point surrounding it on each side. So one side goes to A, and the other side goes to C. And I can switch that up. I could also call this angle CBA as long as the vertex B is in the center. So my second angle, my second example, E is its vertex. So I could call this angle DEF. Or I could call it angle FED, as long as E is in the center. My last example here, H is my center or my vertex. So I could call this angle GHI. Or I could call this angle IHG, as long as H is in the center. Okay? The next thing we're going to look at is when we're naming rays, we need to also, angles, we need to also remember that if an angle is alone, there's only two rays coming out of the endpoint. We'll look at what I mean by not alone in a second. We can use just the vertex to name the angle. So for example, this first angle, since there's only 2 segments coming out of point B, I could call this just angle B. The second one that I have, since I have D, E, F, and I just have the two sides coming out from E, I could call this just angle E. And then the last one, since I have just the two sides coming out of point H, I could call this just angle H. Now, the problem comes in is what if we have more than one ray coming out of the same endpoint? So if I were to just call this angle A, I wouldn't know, am I talking about this angle that I'm going to mark in orange, or am I talking about this angle that I'm going to color in green? I'll put a little extra mark there also. Or am I talking about the whole thing, the big angle? There's really three different angles there. So I need to be able to name all three angles. So this one that's in orange is really angle FAD, or DAF. The angle in green is really DAB, or angle BAD, depending on if I want to spell dab or bad. I guess it depends on how I feel that day. And then my big angle is FAB, angle FAB. Notice each time I do use my angle symbol, and also because these letters are coming from points, they're always going to be capital letters. Notice every time I name them, I'm always using capital letters because they're representing points. Okay? In the next video, we're going to look at measuring and classifying our angles. We're going to review that. So thanks for watching.